Hey there, friends. Buckle up for a story that'll tug at your heartstrings, lift your spirits, and remind you just how powerful one voice can be, especially when it belongs to a brave little girl. This is a tale of courage, love, and justice that starts on an ordinary day but ends with a movement that's changing lives. Oh, and before we dive in, we're so close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to us, so hit that subscribe button and join this incredible journey. Let's get started. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in Wilmington, California, the kind of day where the sun paints everything in golden hues, and the world feels just a little softer. 9-year-old Isla Siegel was strolling home from her neighborhood community center, her sketchpad tucked under one arm, a shiny red apple in her other hand. The sidewalk stretched out before her, bathed in those long, lazy shadows of late afternoon. Isla wasn't causing a ruckus or shouting. She was just a kid, humming softly, thinking about her latest art class creation, 2 blocks from home. But then, a black and white police cruiser rolled up beside her, slow and deliberate. Officer Ray Dunning leaned out the window, his sunglasses slipping just a bit down his nose. "You lost, sweetheart?" he asked, his voice cold, edged with something that made Isla's stomach twist. She stopped, polite as ever, and pointed down the street. "No, sir. I live right there." Dunning's eyes narrowed. "Got ID?" he demanded. Isla blinked, confused. "I'm 9, she said softly. "I don't have ID." Before she could say more, Dunning swung open the car door, his boots hitting the pavement with a thud that echoed in her chest. "Where's your parent?" he pressed. "At home," Isla replied, her voice starting to shake. "I just left art class." "Don't get smart," he snapped, and in a flash, he grabbed her wrist. Isla froze, her heart pounding. "I didn't do anything," she whispered, trying to pull away. "Please, let go." Her sketchpad slipped to the ground, pages fluttering. The apple rolled into the gutter, forgotten. Dunning's grip tightened, twisting her small wrist behind her back. "Smart mouth for a little brat," he muttered. Then came a sound that would haunt anyone who heard it. A loud, sickening crack. Isla's scream pierced the air as she crumpled to the ground, sobbing, her arm bent at an unnatural angle. Dunning loomed over her, breathing heavily. "That's what happens when you don't listen," he growled, reaching for his cuffs as if this 9-year-old girl were some kind of criminal. But here's where the story takes a turn, friends, because Isla wasn't just any little girl. She was prepared. Her father, Stephen Siegel, had taught her one critical trick: a single press and hold shortcut on her phone to trigger an emergency call. And Isla, even in her fear, had pressed it. That call connected straight to her aunt, Lauren Siegel, ex-military officer, regional boxing champion, and the fiercest protector Isla could ever have. Lauren picked up instantly, hearing everything. The officer's harsh voice, Isla's cries, that awful snap. She didn't say a word. She grabbed her keys, threw on a hoodie, and bolted out the door, whispering to herself, "You picked the wrong little girl." At Wilmington General Hospital, the emergency room was its usual whirlwind of chaos. But when EMTs rushed in with a 9-year-old black girl, her arm visibly broken and no explanation, the room went still. "Who brought her in?" a nurse asked. "Police," an EMT replied. "Which precinct?" "Didn't say. Just left her at the curb and drove off." The staff sprang into action. X-rays, pain meds, stabilization. But Isla kept whispering through her tears, "I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything." One nurse noticed her clutching her phone, the screen showing an ongoing call to Aunt Lauren. 30 minutes and counting. 30 miles away, Lauren was tearing down the freeway, her focus razor-sharp, Isla's scream replaying in her mind. Her phone rang. Stephen Siegel, Isla's dad. "I'm on my way," she said, her voice steady but fierce. "How bad is it?" he asked, his tone like distant thunder. "He broke her arm," Lauren said. Silence. Then a low, barely restrained growl from Stephen. "Where is he?" "Gone. Dumped her and ran." "Don't let him disappear," Stephen said. "Find him. I'll come through the walls myself if I have to. I got her, Lauren said. Stay calm. He hung up without another word. When Lauren burst into Wilmington General, she didn't pause at the front desk. I'm her emergency contact, she said sharply. Isla Siegel, 9 years old, broken arm. Room number. The nurse hesitated, then pointed. Room 6. Lauren rushed in, and what she saw broke her heart. Isla lay small and trembling in the hospital bed, her arm in a temporary brace, tears streaking her cheeks. The moment their eyes met, Isla sobbed harder. Lauren dropped to her knees beside the bed, holding her gently. I'm here, baby girl. I got you, she whispered. Isla clung to her, still murmuring. He just grabbed me. I told him my name. I told him who my dad was. Lauren froze. You told him? I said I was Steven Siegel's daughter, Isla sobbed. He laughed. Lauren's blood ran cold. This wasn't a mistake or a misunderstanding. It was targeted, deliberate. She pulled out her phone and played the emergency call recording aloud. Isla's voice filled the room, pleading. The officer's angry tone, the screams, the snap. The nurses froze. One whispered, "My God!" Another asked, "Do you know who the officer was?" "I'm about to," Lauren said. Outside, she demanded the EMT intake log. No name or badge number, but a dispatch record tied to Patrol Unit 73D. She snapped a photo and called Sergeant Maria Sato from LAPD Internal Affairs. "This is Lauren. I need a favor. A cop in Wilmington broke a little girl's arm and ran. I have evidence." "You have reach," Sato said. "Send me what you've got. I'll get you a name." 10 minutes later, Lauren had it. Officer Ray Dunning, badge number 5372, Wilmington Division. Not even on duty. Took the patrol car without authorization. Prior complaints, a full report. Lauren stared at the image of Isla's bruised arm, the fear in her eyes. "This man's about to learn why they call me the other Siegel," she whispered. By the time Isla was sedated and resting, Lauren stood outside her hospital room, arms crossed. Her phone buzzed. Sato again. "We got him. Ray Dunning. He eats every Sunday at Benny's Grill. Same time, same booth. Like clockwork. Don't do anything reckless," Sato warned. "I'm not going to touch him," Lauren said. "Not yet." At Benny's Grill, Dunning sat in his favorite booth, laughing at his phone, barking at the waitress. Lauren parked across the street, watching. 15 minutes later, she walked inside. The bell above the door jingled, and all eyes turned. She approached his table, calm as a summer breeze. "Can I help you?" he grumbled. Lauren didn't speak. She pulled out her phone and tapped play. Isla's voice filled the diner. "Please, stop. That hurts. I didn't do anything." Then the crack. The diner went silent. Dunning's smirk vanished. "Where'd you get that?" he stammered. "You know who that girl is?" Lauren asked, her voice low and steady. "Doesn't matter." She resisted. "She's Steven Siegel's daughter," Lauren said. His face went pale. "And I'm Lauren Siegel." He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. "You threatening me?" he managed. "If I was threatening you, you'd be face down already," she replied. She slid a napkin toward him, words scrawled in sharp ink. Asterisk Room 6, Wilmington General. 9 years old. Broken arm. Audio. Witnesses. Internal Affairs. Asterisk, by the time my brother gets here, you'll be lucky to keep your badge. Dunning started to speak, but Lauren slammed both hands on the table, making the diner shake. "What you did wasn't fear. It was cowardice. You broke the wrong little girl, and now I'm going to break your career." She turned to leave. "Next time I see you in uniform, I hope it's during your perp walk." Her phone buzzed as she stepped outside. "Sato." Waitress from the diner called it in. Said a woman confronted Dunning, gave him a name, played a recording. Lauren smiled. "Let's just say I dropped something on his table." "You're not done, are you?" Sato asked. Lauren looked at the horizon. "I haven't even started." By sunrise, Wilmington was buzzing. Isla's emergency call had been anonymously uploaded to a whistleblower platform, spreading like wildfire. Within 12 hours, it was shared over 400,000 times. The raw, painful audio, a child's panicked voice, an officer's harsh shouts, the crack of her arm breaking, struck a nerve. People didn't just listen. They reacted. They reposted. They marched. Major news outlets looped the audio, some with warnings, others without. Commentators debated legality, protocol, morality. But one thing was undeniable: the sound of real pain. When Isla's identity was revealed, daughter of actor and martial arts icon Steven Seagal, the nation stopped scrolling and paid attention. This wasn't just another headline. It was personal. By 9 a.m., Officer Ray Dunning had deleted his social media, turned off his phone, and called in sick. Too late. 2 news vans were parked outside his home, a drone filming his backyard. Inside the Wilmington Police Department, the air was thick with tension. Some officers exchanged knowing glances. Others distanced themselves, bracing for fallout. No one defended Dunning openly. Not this time. Meanwhile, in Wilmington General, Lauren sat by Isla's bed. The girl was stable but quiet, sedated, her small hand clutching Lauren's sleeve like a lifeline. Her cast was now signed by half the ER nurses. "You're brave. You matter. Justice is coming." Words wrapped around her like a shield. Steven was still overseas, filming, but Lauren kept the room calm, giving him time to land. Because if Steven saw Isla's broken arm without knowing the full story, Wilmington might not survive his fury. By 11:13 a.m., Lauren strode into the Wilmington Police Department, no longer in her hoodie but a sharp charcoal blazer, dark jeans, and boots. Her face was calm, her eyes laser-focused. She laid a folder on the front desk. "I need to speak to your commanding officer." Inside, screenshots of the dispatch report, a transcript of the emergency call, EMT drop-off records, and a signed letter from Sergeant Sato confirming an internal affairs investigation into Dunning. 10 minutes later, Lauren faced Captain Riley, a weathered man with silver stubble and wary eyes. "Miss Seagull," he began. "Internal Affairs is conducting a full inquiry. Officer Dunning's on administrative leave pending review." Lauren raised an eyebrow. "Administrative leave?" He shattered a 9-year-old's arm and abandoned her at the curb. He didn't file a report. He didn't call it in. He ran. Riley cleared his throat. "We're following procedure. You followed procedure when you buried his last complaint. And the one before that." She tossed another folder onto his desk. 3 prior civilian complaints against Dunning, all dismissed, no action taken. "I'm not here because my last name is Seagull. I'm here because a man in uniform thinks he can brutalize black children without consequence." Riley leaned forward, defensive. "This department's under immense pressure right now. You have until tomorrow morning," Lauren said sharply, "to fire him publicly, or the Seagull family goes live with everything." He blinked. "Are you threatening the department?" "I'm giving you a chance," she replied, "to survive what's coming." By 2 p.m., the front of Wilmington PD was flooded with protesters. Signs read, "Justice for Isla. Protect kids, not egos. We see you, Ray." College students, parents, activists, and locals stood together, their chants echoing off the concrete. Lauren stood at the top of the courthouse steps, not chanting, not yelling, just watching. Her phone buzzed. "Sato, I just left HQ. They've frozen Dunning's pay, flagged his badge. He's under full review for excessive force." "Not enough," Lauren said quietly. "What are you going to do?" Sato asked. "I'm going to do what they won't." That evening, Lauren posted a video to her verified social media. No flash, just her standing in front of the hospital, one hand resting gently on Isla's cast. "Some people think they can hide behind a badge forever," she said to the camera. "But we're not afraid of uniforms. We're afraid of silence." She looked into the lens. "Ray Dunning heard a child and walked away. Now I'm walking toward him. And when I find him, he'll learn you don't lay hands on a seagull." By sunrise Tuesday, Hashtag Justice for Isla was trending globally. Protests spread beyond the precinct to City Hall. National talk shows played the emergency call in full. Celebrities spoke out. Civil rights attorneys circled the case. Stephen had landed hours earlier, but no one saw him. Not the press, not the police. Only Lauren knew where he was. In the back seat of her car, parked near Dunning's house. From their vantage point, they saw his peeling yellow house, curtains drawn, mailbox overflowing. It was 6:44 a.m., still nothing, Lauren said. Then the garage door creaked open. Dunning stepped out, glancing nervously, a duffel bag over his shoulder, badge still clipped to his belt. "He's skipping town," Lauren said flatly. Stephen didn't speak. Lauren stepped out, silent as a shadow. Dunning didn't see her until he shut his trunk. When he turned, she was there, calm, centered, unflinching. "I wouldn't leave just yet," she said. He reached for his holster. "Go ahead," she said. "That'll be the last move you ever make." He froze. "What do you want?" he spat. "I want you to feel something close to what you made her feel," Lauren said. She resisted. He began, but her fist landed square in his jaw, trained, controlled. He stumbled back. She advanced, grabbing his collar, slamming him into his car. "You grabbed a little girl," slam. "You broke her arm," slam. "You left her like trash," slam. He tried to fight back, but she pivoted, twisting his arm. He cried out. "Hurts, doesn't it?" she said. Ever think about how scared she was? "She made it up," he gasped. A knee to the gut cut him off. He dropped, wheezing. Lauren crouched beside him. "I should put this on camera. Let the world see you beg." Instead, she pulled out an envelope. A civil lawsuit for assault on a minor, a subpoena, a restraining order signed by Steven Seagal, Internal Affairs report. She dropped it on his chest. "You're done, Ray. And if you come within 100 feet of her again, I won't stop." Sirens wailed. 2 squad cars rounded the corner. "Get up," Lauren ordered. He groaned. "Get up." As officers cuffed Dunning against his car, neighbors stepped out, phones in hand. No one looked surprised. No one defended him. The truth was out. One officer turned to Lauren. "You're Lauren Seagal?" She nodded. "My daughter's in art class with Isla," he said quietly. "She still talks about that sketchbook." "She's not done drawing," Lauren said. "Not even close." The footage of Dunning's arrest went viral. Every major news outlet looped the clip. The bruised ex-officer in cuffs, a black Dodge Charger in the background. Lauren standing tall with the envelope pressed to his chest. No audio was needed, the image told the story. A reckoning had begun. Inside the Wilmington PD, tension simmered. Some officers muttered about Lauren's circus, but others, in quiet hallways, nodded. They'd seen Dunning's behavior for years. They just never thought anyone would act. That afternoon, Sato called with a warning. "You're getting heat. Internal voices are calling you volatile, emotional. There's talk you used excessive force." Lauren laughed, humorless. "He broke a child's arm, and I'm excessive?" "I know," Sato said. "They're trying to flip the narrative. You embarrassed them." "I didn't make them weak," Lauren said. "They were already rotten. I just turned on the light." By 2 p.m., protesters outside the station doubled. Celebrities tweeted support. Civil rights groups issued statements. Wilmington PD stayed silent until 3:47 p.m. A sleek black SUV pulled up. Cameras surged. Steven Seagal stepped out, dark suit, no tie, eyes like a hawk. Lauren and a legal advisor flanked him. Protesters roared, "Justice for Isla! Let him speak!" Steven took the mic, the crowd falling silent. "A man put his hands on my 9-year-old daughter," he began, voice steady but sharp. He twisted her arm, threw her to the ground, broke her like she didn't matter. The flag snapped in the wind. He didn't care who she was. That's what hurts most. Not because she's my daughter, but because he saw a little girl and saw nothing worth protecting. He paused, staring into the camera. To Officer Dunning, you picked the wrong little girl. To the system that made him. You've got one shot to fix this before we fix it for you. He stepped back, leaving a storm behind. Inside the precinct, Interim Chief Grayson Hale watched the live feed. His phone rang. Fix this, the mayor barked. Now. But Lauren wasn't waiting. That evening, she sat at her kitchen table, Isla asleep upstairs. Stephen stood at the window, silent. They'd received over 12,000 messages in 48 hours. Victims, parents, whistleblowers, people waiting years for someone to listen. We need to do more, Lauren said. We can't let this end with him. Stephen nodded. We go national. Within days, they launched FIST, Fighters for Institutional Safety and Truth. Not just a foundation, but a machine. Civil rights lawyers, retired detectives, investigators, whistleblowers, trauma counselors. Their mission: expose police abuse, protect the silenced, empower communities. The public backed them instantly. Lauren and Stephen held town halls, press conferences, interviews, demanding attention without asking permission. But the backlash was swift. At 6:03 a.m. Thursday, a gray sedan screeched to a stop as Lauren stepped out for her run. 3 men in plain clothes jumped out, one flashing a badge. Lauren Siegel, you're under temporary detainment for obstruction and aggravated assault on a peace officer. They cuffed her, shoved her into the car. No Miranda rights, no phone call, just silence. Neighbors filmed. The footage hit Twitter in 10 minutes. By 6:44 a.m., Stephen was on the phone with Sato. You didn't warn her, he said, voice like steel. I didn't know, Sato said. They bypassed internal channels. It's retaliation. I want every name, every signature, every address, Stephen said. By 7 a.m., Lauren sat in a holding cell. No paperwork, no attorney, just a clipboard demanding she cease involvement in police misconduct cases. She tore it in half. You think I'm scared of paper? She muttered. The man behind the glass sneered. You're making noise the department doesn't want. I'm not walking away, she replied. Not now, not ever. At 8:02 a.m., the door opened. Stephen walked in with 2 lawyers, a federal agent from the Department of Civil Rights, and a cameraman. He handed the agent a flash drive. Surveillance of Lauren's arrest, dash cam footage from Dunning's confrontation, proof of her medical and emergency response license. All legal. The agent nodded. She's leaving with us. Outside, a crowd waited. Reporters, protesters, even a mayor's office representative. Stephen took the mic. Wilmington tried to silence the woman who protected my daughter. They called justice a threat. Now they'll see what happens when you come after a seagull twice. That evening, Lauren and Stephen hosted a town hall in a packed high school gym. 600 people, parents, teachers, former officers, silent victims. A mother spoke. My son was slammed into a car hood for jaywalking. A teenager showed her brother's bruised face after a routine stop. A former officer admitted, I tried to report my partner's behavior. I was demoted, pushed out. Lauren stood in the center, absorbing every wound. We're building a record, she said. A case. And when it's done, every name, every badge, every sealed file. It's all coming out. That night, SiegelJustice.org launched. By morning, it had 18,000 verified submissions. Wilmington's chief resigned by noon. 3 officers were placed on leave. The DA reopened 10 cases linked to Dunning. And upstairs, in a quiet hospital room, Isla smiled for the first time in days. Her cast was replaced with a removable brace. She scrolled through headlines on a tablet, eyes wide. Do you think other kids will be okay now? She asked. Lauren knelt beside her. They will, because you were brave enough to speak. Now the world's speaking with you. The courtroom was electric. Los Angeles County Superior Court, packed to the brim. This wasn't just a trial. It was a broken system facing judgment. Lauren sat, expression unreadable, a notebook in her lap. Stephen was motionless, hands clasped, calm as a blade. Isla, in soft blue, her healing arm in a brace, watched with sharp eyes. Across from them, Ray Dunning looked small, pale, avoiding their gaze. The prosecutor began. We intend to prove Officer Raymond Dunning knowingly assaulted a minor, failed to report it, attempted to flee, and conspired to suppress the truth. Gasps rippled through the gallery, filled with victims who finally believed a courtroom might listen. The emergency call played. Isla's voice. Please, I didn't do anything. Then the crack. A juror covered her mouth. The judge's hand twitched. Dunning shifted. Photos followed. X-rays of Isla's fractured bones, bruises on her arm and wrists, a timeline from surveillance, hospital records, and Dunning's cruiser GPS. Lauren took the stand, voice steady. I didn't punch him because I lost control. I did it because he thought no one would hold him accountable. Objection. Overruled. Testimonies poured in. Parents, nurses, teachers, a retired lieutenant who admitted complaints against Dunning were buried to avoid scandal. Dunning wasn't a rogue cop, the prosecutor said in closing. He was a symptom of protection without accountability. Then Isla took the stand, so small yet so strong. He asked for ID, but I'm 9. I told him my name, my dad's name. He laughed, then grabbed me and twisted my arm. I heard it break. She held up a drawing. A girl with a cast, standing tall before a crowd, captioned, I'm stronger now. The gallery stood, a silent wave of respect. Isla looked at Lauren, who nodded proudly. After 8 days, the jury deliberated for 6 hours. At 4:11 p.m., the verdict, guilty on aggravated assault, abuse of authority, attempted evasion. Dunning showed no emotion as he was cuffed. His career was over, his name synonymous with failure. Outside, hundreds cheered as Lauren, Stephen, and Isla stepped down the courthouse steps. A reporter shouted, What happens now? Stephen turned. We build something that doesn't need a seagull to be heard. 3 weeks later, they weren't celebrating, they were organizing. For every Dunning, dozens hid behind sealed complaints. Fist went national, opening offices in 20 states. Submissions soared past 31,000. Their motto, we don't wait for permission. We shine the light. But the system fought back. An encrypted message warned Lauren of retaliation. 5 cities flagged Fist for investigation. 1 issued a cease and desist. 2 blocked personnel file access. They're scared, Stephen said. Good, Lauren replied. They should be. Then came a digital attack. SeagullJustice.org was hit. Files scrambled. Whistleblower names leaked. Lauren's phone cloned to paint her as unstable. A headline screamed, Steven Seagull's niece leading dangerous vigilante group. Lauren didn't flinch. At a press conference, Isla by her side, she said, They can crash our servers, smear my name, but they'll never erase what they fear most. A 9-year-old who refused to stay silent. Stephen added, I've seen fear. I've lived it. Nothing I've hit in a ring was uglier than what they're hiding behind those badges. Come at us. Just understand, we hit back. The attacks escalated. Suspicious packages arrived at Fist offices, one a bomb threat, another laced with malware. Then a silent video, drone footage of Isla's school, a blurred man watching. Lauren called Stephen. They're going after her. Within 48 hours, Isla was in a protected location, guarded by former Navy SEALs. Stephen became her fortress. That night, Lauren sat on Isla's bed. Are they going to hurt us? Isla asked. Not if the whole world's watching, Lauren said. The next morning, on the federal courthouse steps in L.A., Lauren and Stephen held an emergency press conference. Thousands watched live. Stephen spoke. They threatened our daughter again, so we're pulling back the curtain with help. Lauren held up a flash drive. 49 leaked memos, 12 sealed files, 31,000 testimonies. The drone footage played, revealing a retired sergeant with misconduct complaints. The crowd erupted. The Department of Justice announced a federal investigation into suppression efforts across 3 states. Then Isla stepped forward, mic in both hands. My name is Isla Seagull. I'm 10 now. A man broke my arm and tried to make me feel like I didn't belong. But I do. And so does every kid who's never listened to. She held up a drawing. A girl with a megaphone, captioned, "Her voice matters." The crowd rose, not seeing a little girl, but the spark of a new era. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And please hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers, and your support is helping us shine a light for kids like Isla everywhere. Together, we're unstoppable. Let's keep this movement growing.